here at the Morningstar conference in Chicago. I'm with Christine Benz, who is Director of Personal Finance for Morningstar, and we've been talking a lot about retirement. Obviously, retirees are nervous. I wonder if you could go through the three biggest mistakes that you think retirees make with their money.
Probably the biggest one that I see, Jack, is that they don't spend enough time before retirement figuring out how much they'll need to retire and whether their savings is on track as the years go by. So unfortunately, a lot of folks come into their 60s, mid-60s, getting to that year when people typically retire and find out they haven't saved enough. So by that point, really the only lever they have left is to continue working in some fashion. So to avoid having that happen, I think what you do is kind of stress test your portfolio and your savings rate along the way. And certainly there are lots of tools out there on the web to help you plug in your asset mix and your time horizon and so forth to let you see whether that savings rate and portfolio value puts you on track to hit your financial goals. And then a related issue is once someone is getting ready to retire, it's important to look at how much you can take out of that portfolio on an ongoing basis. So making sure that you've really got your arms around those numbers, that your so-called withdrawal rate or distribution rate or whatever you want to call it is not too high, given that you might be retired 25 or 30 years or even more.
And so say that's a 4% rate, which is often thrown around.
Yes.
Is there any danger with focusing too much on that hard number?
Well, I think that the big danger is that for a lot of folks, their lifestyles vary. So they have maybe one spouse retiring earlier than the other one, or you have emergency expenses. It can be really unrealistic to stick with a fixed withdrawal amount. So I think that that's one big risk. And another one is that if you are taking a fixed dollar amount out of your portfolio, so you're taking that initial 4% and then just inflation adjusting that dollar amount as the years go by, the big risk is that you're not being sensitive to what's going on in the market. So if you are taking a fixed dollar amount, what could happen in a 2008 type environment is you're taking your same amount, your standard of living is staying the same, which is good from a quality of life standpoint. But unfortunately, there's not as much of your portfolio there to rebound when stocks recover. Sure. So, I think some common sense is in order in terms of withdrawal rates. Definitely makes sense to think about pulling in your belt a little bit during those very rough markets especially. That will definitely improve the sustainability of any portfolio no matter what rate you're using.
And whatever that rate is, should people look for investments that can match that rate? Stocks that yield 4%, bonds that yield 4%, or so forth?
It doesn't have to be. I think that income-producing stocks and bonds should be part of retiree portfolios, but ultimately I think you want to focus on the total return of that aggregate portfolio, make sure that you're well diversified across asset classes. A lot of retirees do get very hung up on that issue. In fact, I would say this is a pitfall unto itself. They want to see that rate of payout from their investments, but really you can get the proceeds for living expenses from any number of places. It can be from rebalancing, from selling some of your winners.
Or just from growth, presumably.
From growth,
yep.
From tax loss selling. Maybe you've got losers that you want to harvest, and you could maybe use that money to pay your living expenses as well. So I think the idea is to be opportunistic rather than so focused on current income.
Okay, so you need to make sure you're saving enough. Once you're close to retirement, you got to check that withdrawal rate, and then you've got to make sure that the assets you have are the right ones to get that withdrawal rate.
Exactly.
Great advice. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jack.